Think positive.
Welcome, or welcome back, to the GHOUL-AMBROSE podcast, G.A. for short. I'm your host, Prince. This is a space for inner work, self-improvement, self-discovery, mindset, accountability, integrity, reflection, and personal development. This podcast is built for growth, for honesty, and for becoming a better version of yourself, one day at a time. New episodes drop every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today's episode is called Self-Control Through Noise. When people hear the word noise, they think sound. But this kind of noise, you don't hear it with your ears. You feel it in your head. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your thoughts. It's everything hitting you at once. Stress, pressure, overthinking, emotions you didn't plan for, situations you didn't expect. And it's not always loud on the outside. Sometimes nothing around you changed. But inside, everything is loud. Your mind is moving fast. Your emotions are heavier than usual. Small things feel bigger than they should. One thought turns into 10. One problem turns into 5 more. One feeling spreads into everything else. Now, you're not just dealing with one moment. You're dealing with everything it triggered. That's the noise. And most people don't lose control because life is hard. They lose control because they don't know how to function when the noise shows up. Losing control doesn't happen all at once. It builds. It starts small. You're good. You're calm. You're focused. Then something throws you off. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's something you didn't expect. Maybe it's something that hits you at the wrong time. And now your patience shortens. Your thoughts start speeding up. Your emotions start getting heavier. And instead of staying grounded, you start reacting. You say something quick. You make a rushed decision. You respond off emotion instead of intention. And in that moment, it feels justified. It feels right. But later, you look back and think, that wasn't even me. But it was you. Just you inside the noise. And when the noise is loud enough, it can overpower your ability to think clearly. People think self-control means being calm all the time, like you're supposed to be unbothered, like nothing gets to you, like nothing affects you, like you're just always steady no matter what. That's not real. You're going to feel things. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to feel pressure. You're going to have moments where everything in you wants to react. That doesn't mean you lack discipline. That means you're human. Self-control isn't about not feeling. It's about what you do while you're feeling. Because there's always a moment right between what you feel and what you do next. It might be small. It might be quick. But it's there. And that moment, that's where your control actually exists. Not before the feeling. Not after the reaction. Right in between. A lot of people get this wrong. They think control means shutting everything off. Don't feel it. Ignore it. Push it down. But that's not control. That's suppression. And suppression always comes back. Because what you ignore doesn't disappear. It builds up. And when it comes out stronger, louder, more aggressive, harder to manage. Real composure is different. You feel everything. You notice the frustration. You recognize the anger. You understand what's going on inside you. But you don't let it control your actions. You don't let it decide your response. You stay aware, even when everything inside you wants to react. That's real control. Sometimes it's not just one thing. It's everything. Problems stack up. Pressure builds. Your mind is already full, and then more gets added. And now it feels overwhelming, like you can't even think straight, like everything is happening too fast. That's when people break, not because they're weak, but because it's too much at once. they shut down, or they explode. Because the noise isn't just loud anymore, it's overwhelming. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to control everything happening around you. You just need to control how you respond within it. Even when everything stacks, you still have a choice in how you move. One of the most underrated forms of self-control is the pause. Not a long pause, not avoiding things, just a moment, a second where you don't react immediately. Because most mistakes, they happen fast. Quick words, quick reactions, quick decisions made in emotion. But when you pause, you interrupt that pattern. You give yourself space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to choose. And that space, that's where control lives. Not every feeling needs an action. Not every thought needs a response. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is wait. The goal isn't to silence the noise. That's not realistic. Life will always be loud. There will always be pressure, always be emotions, always be moments that test you. The goal is to move through it, to stay grounded when everything feels unstable, to stay aware when everything feels overwhelming, to feel everything. But still choose who you are in that moment, because self-control isn't built when life is easy. It's built in the noise. It's built in the moments where it would be easier to react, but you don't. Where it would be easier to lose control, but you hold it. That's where it grows. That's where it becomes real. And over time, the noise doesn't go away, but it stops controlling you. One thing the noise does really well is make you believe something is true before you actually know if it is. You start filling in blanks. You assume what someone meant. You assume how something is going to turn out. You assume the worst without even realizing it. And now you're reacting, not to reality, but to your interpretation of it. That's dangerous. Once you move based on something that isn't fully true, you lose control of the situation. Self-control means slowing that down. Not everything needs an immediate conclusion. Sometimes you need to let things play out before deciding what it actually is. Not everything deserves your energy, but when the noise is loud, it feels like everything does. Every comment, every inconvenience, every small moment, you start reacting to all of it, and that's exhausting, because now you're constantly responding to things that don't even matter long term. Self-control is knowing the difference, knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. If you give everything a reaction, you'll have nothing left when it actually matters. Not everything needs to be held on to. Some things are meant to pass. Feelings come and go. Thoughts come and go. Moments come and go. But when you're in the noise, you hold on to everything. You replay it. You sit in it. You keep it alive longer than it needs to be. And now something that should have lasted minutes, lasted hours, or even days. Self-control is knowing when to let something pass, not because it didn't matter, but because holding on to it is doing more damage than letting it go. It's easy to talk about control after the moment is over, but real control happens during it, when your emotions are high, when your thoughts are racing, when everything in you wants to react. That's when it matters. That's when composure shows up. Not perfectly, not easily, but intentionally. It's choosing to slow down when everything in you wants to speed up. That's real strength. Self-control doesn't mean being emotionless. You're still going to feel everything. The frustration, the anger, the pressure. That doesn't go away. The difference is it doesn't control you anymore. You feel it, but you don't become it. You experience it, but you don't act blindly because of it. That's the balance, and that's what most people miss. The noise isn't going anywhere. Life is always going to test you. There will always be moments where everything feels like too much, but self-control isn't about waiting for quiet. It's about learning how to stand in the noise without losing yourself, without reacting to everything, without jumping to conclusions, without letting every emotion take control. It's being able to feel everything and still choose how you move. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it strong. And the more you practice that, the less power the noise has over you. Not because it's gone, but because you learned how. Welcome to Season 5. I hope you found something worth taking with you today. Maybe a new perspective, maybe a moment to pause and reflect. Thank you for being here and sharing this space with me. Your presence matters. If this resonated with you, share it with someone you care about, because growth spreads through connection. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Stay grounded. And as always, be safe.